What supplies or items should every household have in case of a large-scale emergency? I got doomsday prepper survival food because I live in Houston and we have hurricanes. I can keep it in my closet for 25 years and it will always be there. I also have a few jugs of water and a camping stove with several propane cartridges. Can't stress these things enough for people who live in disaster areas. Where we were living in Houston was without power after I rolled in for 4 days. At my friend's place it was 3 weeks later. For Harvey, her place was under 10 feet of water, 2-story house, after the reservoir overflow and had no power for 6+ weeks. Also, put all your important docs in a plastic storage bin, don't overload it so it'll float if needed, and make sure you have photocopies stored on the cloud somewhere. It amazes me how many people fail to prep correctly for hurricanes despite living in an area that gets hit every 5-10 years. I would go further than putting docs in a plastic tub. Birth certificates, passport, SS card, etc. should go in a nice gun safe. First, it's secure so if your home ever gets burglared your identity doesn't too. Second, you can buy ones that are waterproof and fireproof. In a home fire or flood your docs will be secure. Never put stuff in a gun safe you don't want to lose. A smarter thief knows this, and will use a crappy grinder when they know you won't be home for a while, and pry that sucker open like a tin can. Instead put it in a difficult to reach area, in a fireproof box. I suggest an attic if you have one, or consider concealing it in a desk or bed frame. Make a note where it is on your phone in a password locker or something similar in case you forget where it is. When I was an active opiate addict, my best plug kept the pills and cash from pills in a huge safe. Someone scaled up the wall to his 3rd-story apartment and carried the whole thing out the front. I was dope sick for a month because of that Spider-Man motherfucker. How big is huge? My normal size safe is 600+ pounds. I'm curious too. Help a buddy move a 1,200 pounds gun safe empty a few years back. Took like 6 guys to move this thing. My safe was 900 pounds and was bolted into the concrete. Not easy to bring it into my house, and won't be easy to take it out. Water, a few days of food, a radio and extra batteries, decent first aid kit, light of some kind. During our last power outage we realized the solar outdoor lights worked for indoors after dark. We put them in vases around the house. Just a thought for others if you have those in your yard. Now that is creative. Thanks for sharing. Extra doses of your medication. X, insulin for diabetics. In college I had one roommate who was diabetic, one who was deaf with hearing aids, and one who had his thyroid removed and required medication daily. We used to watch The Walking Dead together and morbidly joke that if it ever happened our house would be in a lot of trouble. Fucking same. The Walking Dead is why I always keep my most recent glasses each time I get a new pair. I figure close enough is better than fuck I can't see shit if anything happens to my current pair during anything apocalyptic. Also an extra inhaler and a few Adderall. I'd be hitting up a pharmacy for my PTSD, nightmare suppressant and antidepressants. Like, I'd totally suck as many dicks as need be during the apocalypse for some Prozac. Hey, I've got a lot of Prozac currently. Maybe we can cut a deal while we're still alive, you know, in the current, non-apocalyptic times. What do you say? Dealio or no-go? Get a water storage insert for your tub. They're not expensive, and they'll save your emergency water supply in the event of sewage backing up, can happen in flooding and potentially earthquake events. From the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks. I'm paraphrasing but you'll get the point. Upon hearing the warning signs, first thing you should do is grab every container in your house that can hold water and fill it up. Fill your bathtubs up, fill the sinks up, everything. Because eventually the water company will cease to output water. It may seem stupid that you've got 30 containers of water sitting around in the open, but you'll be thankful that you did. None of my sinks would hold water indefinitely. I think my bathtubs would hold though. I've probably got about 6 cases of water in my house currently though. Just put some of my girlfriend's hair down the drain, it'll clog that shit in no time. I'm with ya. I don't know how my wife still has hair on her head. If you ever feel the need to physically gag, purchase a drain snake and pull out whatever is inside. Don't eat beforehand. I try to be kind and police the drain myself so my husband doesn't have to deal with it. It's absolutely super gross, though. Cat hairball times 50. I second this. I live in Florida, and just as a precaution, because I was also in Irma, the first major hurricane I've been through as an adult, I always say when hurricane season starts, you should buy at least one case of water every paycheck. A case of water is very cheap. When Irma was headed for us, people literally bought all the water a week before she hit and were reselling them for $40 a case. It was hard because we only had like 3 cases of water, and I was also formula feeding a baby. Breastfeeding wasn't something I could do, so those 3 cases of water were for 4 mouths: me, husband, older son, baby son. Thankfully we were only out of power for 2 days. Other friends in the same town were out of power for over a week. If you're in the woods and you don't have a clean source, you can use many species of trees. You can tap them, like a maple tree. The sap is mostly water with some sugars, obviously. Tulip poplars are especially good for this. Yeah, that's a good one to remember. There are a lot of birch here, and I know you can make birch syrup, same as you do with maple, but the sugar content is less. I never tried it though.